Hello, this is Miss Lahart here coming at you for the video on irrational versus rational. Again, this is an easy Regents topic, and I'm hoping after this lesson you'll be able to get correct. The types of questions are differentiating between what a rational number is and what an irrational number is. Do you know? And we talked about this at the beginning of the year. We have different types of numbers. We talked about them: rationals, integers, whole numbers, natural numbers. We got irrational numbers and real numbers. Okay. The overall bubble, every number is considered a real number, but we have two very distinct bubbles of rational numbers versus irrational numbers. And like if you look at the rational numbers, okay, we've got fractions, we've got terminating decimals, we got whole numbers. We've got repeating decimals. All of those things are what's called rational numbers. If it makes sense, it's a rational number. If it goes on forever with no pattern, that's an irrational number. Pi is the most famous irrational number. Radical 2, if you type that in, you end up with 1, 2, 4, 3, 4, 8, 7, yada, yada, yada. Irrational numbers don't make sense and have no pattern. Okay, so the basic, because some of the questions they will ask you to, explain why it's rational. So the very quick statement that you will write is a number that can be written as a fraction. A rational number is a number that can be written as a fraction. So like just getting into more of that, it's a number that makes sense. And some examples, we've got whole numbers, we've got integers, whole numbers, positive and negative. Integers, we have terminating decimals, which means they stop, there's not a dot, dot, dot after it, or a repeating decimal. So again, that would be 0.15151515. All of those are considered rational numbers. Okay, so just on the worksheet, it was just one more time to define a number that can be written as a fraction. Okay, a number that can be written as a fraction. That is what a rational number is. Now, an irrational number. An irrational number is a number that cannot be written as a fraction. Okay, a number that doesn't make sense. So examples, okay, 0.1237896. The dot, dot, dot means that goes on forever, and I can't see a pattern. Can you? So non-terminating, which means it doesn't stop. Non-repeating, so there's no repetition. Decimals. Pi is the most famous one. And then like anything that's a square root of a not perfect square. Okay. And yeah, those are all irrational. So an irrational, again, just to write it one more time on the notes, a number that cannot be written as a fraction, a number that cannot be written as a fraction. Okay, this is what the Regents exam will look like. Which expression results in an irrational number? Guys, use your graphing calculators to type these in and see what comes out. Radical 3 times radical 3. Hold on. Oh, come on. I thought I had the screen up. Okay, so which expression results in an irrational number? So we're looking for something that like doesn't repeat, doesn't terminate, yada, yada, yada. So if I type each individual, so this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4, that's a nice number. That's rational. That's rational. Negative 0.41666666. That's a repeating decimal. So that's rational. And then this loser that goes on forever, it has a dot, dot, dot on it. There's no pattern. That is your irrational number. So that is choice number 4. Okay. And guys, your graphing calculator, I don't know why my screen isn't the graphing calculator. Like I thought I had the picture of it, but whatever. Your graphing calculator will give you a fraction right here. And that's fine because a rational number can be written as a fraction. So 4 was your loser. Okay. Which sum is irrational? So which sum is irrational? So again, pause the video, type them all in, see what pops out. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here we go. So I did them all. Okay, we are looking for the irrational one. So we've got 8, 21 over 2, 40. Those are all nice. Choice number 1 is the weird one that has a bunch of decimals that we don't know. So choice number 1 is the winner on that one. Okay. Classify the expression 2 over radical 144 plus 169 over 3. When you type that into your calculator, out that pops. And guys, on your test, please write that. Please write equals 9 over 2, because then you would say it's a rational number. And then you would have to say why, you would say it can be written as a fraction. Rational number which can be written as a fraction. Okay. So rational numbers, overall, any number that can be written as a fraction, a decimal that terminates or repeats. Irrational is a number that cannot be written as a fraction, and a decimal that has no pattern and does not terminate. Okay, again, pause that screen if you need it, but let's do some practice. So grab a board quickly. If you're just sitting at home, just, shout at me. Here we go. You would state what it is and why it is. Okay, this one is rational because it can be written as a fraction. Ooh, you type that in, it's irrational. It comes out weird decimals, repeats, doesn't go off, so it is irrational. Ooh, that one is rational. Okay, terminating decimal, so it's rational. Next one. Ooh, the most famous irrational. Terminating decimal, rational. Fraction, rational. Ooh, 0.02479. There's no pattern. It's repeating. That is irrational. Ooh, 0.121212. That's a pattern. That's definitely rational. You type that into your calculator. Out pops 15. That's definitely rational. -3 radical 2. You type that into your calculator. Out pops in an obnoxious decimal. So that guy is irrational. 0.444. That's a repeating decimal. So that is rational. 0.9864127. There's no pattern. It's dot, dot, dot. So that is irrational. 7, rational. Repeating decimal, rational. Oops, sorry. 2/5 was rational. Okay. This is actually what you'll see on your test. So, or like stuff. So use your calculator first. You type that in, you end up with 6. So that is rational. Radical 2 plus radical 2. You type that in. That is going to give you an irrational number because the decimals go on forever. And guys, if you need to pause the video, like if you want a chance to do this, if not, I'm just going to go through it. 5 times radical 5. Again, that is irrational. -9 minus radical 4, plug that in. You end up with 1. It pops out a 1, so that's rational. Type this in. Ugh, it's ugly. 120. So that is going to be an irrational number. This would be a rational number. And again, we're just shouting at the screen what it is. This one would be a rational number. Ooh, that's going to definitely be a rational number. Okay, now that's the lesson I taught, but then like I kind of went a little further because we needed to kind of continue with it. Make sure you guys read the problem. That was the biggest issue with the classwork for this, is that kids were just not reading what they were asking for. They were just making the judgment. Okay, don't guess, please try. Again, plug it in your calculator. This one right here, which expression results in a rational number? Make sure you read. We want rational in this case, so that's choice number 1. Sum, if you see the word sum, that means addition. Product, that means multiply. So for example, state whether the product of radical 3 and radical 9 is rational. So first you got to multiply them. Okay, and whether you write it like this, you write it like this, please write it, because if you don't write it, I don't give you full credit. That would pop out and put what it says. Okay, 5.19615, so that is definitely irrational because it can't be written as a fraction. So remember, product means multiply, sum means addition. All right, go to your classwork. That's the lesson on irrational versus rational. Hopefully that was enough. Miss Lahart out.